What should he have done? I won the lottery. Oh boy. What will I do with it? Where will I invest it? Oh boy. Had a great crop. Oh man, I'm all set for years. What should he have done with it? Yeah, share a little bit, will you? Well, you didn't do the work. It's mine. But that's the issue. Avoid all greed. Well, if they have this much, I deserve it. Maybe. But if you're going to follow him, you're going to be pretty generous. You're going to risk being taken advantage of now and then. Prophet Isaiah, chapter 58. Similar in the prophet Ezekiel, chapter 18. Share your bread with the hungry. Shelter the oppressed and homeless. Clothe the naked. Do not turn your back on your own. Sound familiar? Because Matthew 25 says the same thing. Well, when were you hungry and we gave you food, or thirsty and we gave you drink, or gave you clothing when you were naked? When? Whenever you did it for one of these, you did it for me, he says. This is our invitation. This is our call. But you know what goes on in here? I might not have enough. I'd like to quote my father. He popped this out every now and then, and he'd always use this rather pompous, churchy voice. Give to the poor, and be sure of a reward from the Lord. You can quote him on that. What's in it for me? You know, last weekend, we had the short version of the Our Father. And Jesus saying, ask and you shall receive. And I emphasized asking for the very beginning of the Lord's Prayer. Hallowed be thy name. What a gift and what a challenge it is to get beyond what's in it for me and begin to embrace what's in it for you. What's in it for others. And in the gospel here, Jesus says, you do that kind of sharing, there'll be a lot in it for you. But it starts with this other focus. Well, this past week, the long-awaited Midsummer Spiritual Renewal took place. The banners are down. I'm starting to sleep again after all this stress of preparing for those presentations. And I'd like to introduce you to a little bit of what we did. I started with the asking that Jesus directs us to do. And after asking, the first night's focus was on receiving. Receiving these gifts of God. And how to receive them well. And the challenge to begin more and more to notice how we've been blessed. And after receiving, there's this call to nurture what we have, to take care of it. And then to give. So much of our cultural mentality is, well, if you get it, you better hang on to it. I'm not a hoarder. I just like stuff. So much of the call of the gospel is give as he is given. Now, after the prayers and petitions, as we've prayed since way back in Advent, Thanksgiving time, we'll pray this. Teach us how to hear Jesus, how to love Jesus, and how to share your gift of salvation with everyone we meet. Which is a pretty tight parable to receiving, nurturing, and giving. Now, please stand. We've got a little physical in the renewal nights. You might have to angle yourself a little bit so you don't hit anyone, but please trust me with this and don't drop the baby. So here you go. Get your hands free. If you have anything in them, put it down. We receive. We nurture. And we give. And you may be seated. Seriously, it's a nice way to start the day. And it's a call to get beyond hanging on, to hear the gift of giving. I'll never forget stumbling into this on the radio one time and hearing this preacher talking about giving, tithing, generously sharing. And he said, you know, if you don't donate to church or to other charitable programs, at least go down to the bridge and throw money in the river. He said, because the very gesture of giving, of letting go of what we clutch so tightly to, is so liberating. It's so filled with grace. We do a lot of giving. St. Vincent de Paul Society, you know, we had the big cash drawdown. We did pretty well. We'll give you another opportunity before summer ends to help us with our holiday gift basket giving. And if you've never been involved with that, every time I hear gift basket, I think of this little wicker basket. Well, our baskets look more like pickup trucks. I mean, we really present a lot of food to the folks we're able to help. And, as I mentioned in the announcements, we've got this back-to-school program coming up in a few weeks. Consider participating. Consider joining Knights of Columbus if you're of the male persuasion. I did a little homework. The most recent statistics I could find were these. That in the year 2017, the Knights of Columbus donated $185 million to various outreaches and charities, many of them through the Holy Father and bishops. And they donated 75,600,000 volunteer hours. We've been given a lot. There's something in us that says, gosh, you never have enough. But he says, you won't have enough until you start giving. Have you ever considered tithing? It's a scriptural principle. It's really not a money-making scheme, but it's an invitation to give 10% of what we earn away. And the model basically is 5% to the church, 5% to other organizations. For about 4 or 5 years, I've been talking about stewardship with our pastoral council And we even have a person in charge of stewardship. But it's a real spirituality of sharing and giving. Very seriously. If you feel interested or called to be involved with that effort, would you let me know? You might even get to go to the convention in the fall. What should he have done? He had all of this. Can you just share? Can you look beyond yourself and help the hungry and needy? Can you reach out to the broken and forgotten? It comes close to home, even though we're far from the border, even to struggle with what we can do to respond to the refugee crisis in the world. What should he have done? What should we do? May God bless us all.